I'm not recording anything, am I? Or am I? Oh, yeah, I am. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 110 of the Cat Lady podcast. It is March 31st, 2020. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2 T's, C-A-T-T, craft all the things. Thank you for joining me. So today is a very special day, actually, and I just kind of realized that. Today is my 5-year podiversary. So I've been doing this podcast for officially 5 years to the date. So I started this on March 31st, 2015. So that's something. I've taken a lot of breaks in between, so it's not like been 5 years consistently. But, you know, I didn't look through, but I want to say I haven't taken more than like 3 or 4 months off at a time, but I could be wrong. I could have had a 6-7 month hiatus in there somewhere, I'm not sure. But here I am. I've been pretty regular since last October, so I'm doing my best to keep up with the every other week schedule, and I say I'm doing pretty good. I didn't really want to record today, but here I am, so thanks for joining me. I am primarily a knitting, spinning, fiber crafting podcast, but I do dabble in other things like Cricut projects, so t-shirts and paper crafts and stuff, though I haven't done anything in a while. I might need to pull some of that out soon just for some change of pace since we're all just kind of stuck at home. It is another dreary day in Michigan. I know the weather is starting to break, so we're getting peaks of little warm temperatures, but this week is the kids' spring break, even though we're like on permanent spring break apparently. But they haven't been able to like play outside. It's not been sunny. It's kind of just drizzly and kind of blah. So hopefully by the end of the week the weather's supposed to pick up a little bit and get a little sunny and we can go outside and maybe take a walk as a family. So we've been really cooped up in this house like everybody. So that's that. Anyways, that was a rant. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new, thank you for joining me. If you're returning, I would love to hear, how long have you been watching? Has anybody been watching for the entire 5 years? Like, I have a feeling I know a few of you that still watch, that I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the beginning. So if you've been a long time viewer, please comment below and just say hi. And I thank you all so much. Eventually I'll do some sort of giveaways or something once business is up and going and I have some products to share. I would love to do a giveaway. I'd love to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. I'd love to do a podiversary giveaway of some sort. I do have one knit along going on that I have some prizes for, but that's gonna run. It's gonna run to the end of the year at this point. It's a whip along, so if you have any whips that you started prior to January 1st, 2020, you can enter them into our Ravelry group and enter to win. The prizes I have are a pack of minis from Happy Little Yarn. You're gonna give me focusing problems today. There we go. There. Okay. Come back to me. I think so. Okay. So for the yarn, and we got some stitch markers from Neatsy's Porch. That. And a drawstring bag from me. So either the teal kitties or the peach kitties. So just a little mini prize pack for entering in those whips. The goal for me was to get my whips done as well, but I am failing miserably. So there you have it. You can find me all over the internet as the Cat Lady on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry. So that's that. I'm just all over the place. So, which is typical as well. So on to projects. So I don't have a ton to share, so being in quarantine has not allotted me extra free time like some people. It is the opposite. So I am a stay-at-home mom with my children usually gone. So I would, get things done around the house and do a lot of crafting in like while waiting for things to wash in the washing machine, you know, or, you know, in between bouncing out to the store and stuff. So it's like I'd get my things done and have a lot more downtime to, you know, do the crafting things. Now I'm like on top of my children all day long. We were homeschooling last week and it was a disaster. No, yes and no. I mean, it wasn't a disaster. It just was very stressful. So, so my crafting time has been cut severely, but I have gotten some things done. First thing you'll notice is my barley light. This was been on the needles since New Year's Eve, so this was a slow burn project. It's a twinsy project with my friend Jen. So I finished that. I needed the needles to start my next project, so I decided to bust a move and get this done. So last you saw it, it was almost done. So I finished that off and I like it. It's a little slouchy in the back. I made it a little bit bigger than my last one. Actually, I went down a size. So the pattern is by Tin Can Knits. This is done with US 4, which is 3.5 millimeter needles. Last I made one, it was the size medium large. This one or something like that. And this one's like small medium. So it's a slightly smaller circumference hat because it just stretches a lot when you wear it. So, and I'm probably between sizes anyways. So I like this one better and I made it a little bit more slouchier just for the heck of it. So I like it. This is in Miss Bab's Estrelita color or base, which is her sparkle base in the Rhinebeck 2019 color bay. So I know I'm speaking prematurely, but I'm terrified that Rhinebeck's gonna be canceled in October because like all these shows are dropping like flies and it stinks. So I will try to keep things a little lighter though. I could easily just go on a Debbie Downer rant about life right now, but we won't. We will just keep it happy, right? So my biggest and greatest quarantine project so far. Oh, wait. I added one more whip before I get into my epic quarantine project. I just actually hadn't touched these until last night, so I didn't put them in my notes because I hadn't touched them, but I did some more progress on my lava lamp socks. Last you saw, I had just cast on a little tiny toe, and pretty much last night I finished increasing the little tiny toe into a full-size toe, and I can't get it out. Okay, so here is where we're at. Not too exciting, but gonna focus. There we go. And I like to try to match my socks, so say we're doing pretty good with the matchy-matchy here. So we'll see how it pans out. And this is using a Gale's Art sock blank in the lava lamp colorway. So it's this like, usually her sock blanks are fully colored, but these ones were a different kind of experiment where it kind of makes these little micro stripes. So it's half the gray and then half the fun colory goodness. So, oh, let me put that back in my stitch. And these are done on size zeros, which is, I'm not sure the millimeter conversion because I didn't write this one down on my sheet. So, US zeros, double pointed needles. Everyone knows I'm recording a video, so I'm hoping nobody interrupts because everyone is home. Kids are downstairs watching television, and Jim is at the dining room in his new workstation pretty much, so he has taken over the dining room to work, which I'm happy to have him home, of course, but it's just another layer of chaos. Oh, and I like this thing. This is the sock ruler, which is sockruler.com. I'm sure I showed this off at some point when I got it, but this comes in handy. So you just kind of slip the sock over, and I knit my socks to about 7 3/4. So I can just keep sticking it on there and don't have to pull out the tape measure. And it actually fits perfect in my bag, so it works. And this is a bag I sewed up myself, so. Okay, so now onto my quarantine project. So if you follow me on Instagram, I did post something about it because I needed help. And I think I figured it out. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. But this is my Doodler by Stephen West, and this is my first ever project using my own hand-dyed yarn. So that's kind of exciting. Of course, it's all bunched up, but so here is what we got so far. So section 1 was all these wedges here, like all the whole, and then section 2 was this braided or cabled edge across the top. So I'm on section 3 now. So we have section 1 was the raise, kind of the raise there. Section 2 is this big long cable across the top. And we just started section 3. You can't even see the color. You can kind of see that pink on the needles right there. So the Doodler by Stephen West. Awesome looking so far. Hand-dyed yarn. So this is a 75-25 base. And the colorways, I named them just for the heck of it. Not necessarily repeatable. I don't know. I'd have to try it. But we have Moonberries. That's what I'm calling this speckly one. So, and I got a little nervous because this is all I have left. It's like 3 grams. So not even enough for a blanket square. I am going to put it in my blanket. I will probably put it with the navy, which I'm calling After Midnight. So this is what's left of my navy, which I still need some of this possibly for the end of this. I don't know. There's multiple different cast-offs or bind-offs in the pattern, so I might need some of that, but I have plenty. So I'll have plenty to make a square for my blanket, which I haven't touched my blanket. I'm like 2 months behind. It's supposed to be like a square a day, right? Oops. So, I don't know what's going on there. And then the colorway that I'm adding right now, I'm calling, what am I calling? Bright Berry Sorbet. So that's this one. And it's, you know, I have a story about this too, which I will talk about a little bit later. So that is my current project. And this is a project that needs the utmost concentration, especially on section 3 now. So there's a lot of counting, there's a lot of markers in here, there's a lot of like, yeah, so, but, and it's gonna take this whole, it's gonna eat up this whole thing. So it's still gonna take me a while. So we'll see where I am in 2 weeks. But I've made a lot of progress, obviously, on this. This has been my monogamous knitting project, and it's so cool. I love this cable on the top. It's really cool. It's hard to see because it's navy, but it looks really cool. And it gets big. It started off small, and it just gets bigger till the end. It's like almost a little too big, but it's like huge. So it's a fun pattern. I do like Stephen West patterns. Some of them are a little strange. Some of them are a little complex. This one is just enough of a challenge to not be too overwhelming, and it's not too weird. so it's been fun. And that's it. That's all I got. I have no other projects that I've touched. I have my sweater still. I have a little ascot bow tie thing that I haven't touched. Yeah, and that's it. That's it for things. Up next, I'm not sure. I really need to finish my sweater. And I need to finish the sleeve, because if the sleeve doesn't work on the sweater's gone. I'm frogging it and it's gonna be something else. So this is its final chance, so it better pull through or we're done. So, so that's that. So spinning, so I talked about the spinning I was working on, and I finally put it on the wheel. So this is what's left. I still have a lot left. I might have gotten through maybe half of it already. Maybe not. This is a merino silk. It's spinning like a dream. It's spinning thin. I'm just kind of letting it go. Doing its own thing, which is typically a thinner spin. I don't know if I will 2-ply it or 3-ply it. I will determine that later. So, see what I'll do a couple samples on the, just kind of apply it on itself and see what it looks like. Try to do a little chain and see what it looks like and go from there. So we'll see what that looks like. But that is coming along. I just kind of, every so often I'll sit down for 15 minutes or so and spin a little bit. The brand, or the company is Recycled Yarn Company. Again, it's merino silk. Purchased at Ann Arbor Fiber Expo a few years ago. Okay. Got some notes here. So Cricut dyeing. So I have not had, since I haven't had a lot of crafting time, I haven't had a lot of dyeing time either, but I ordered so the dyer that the supplier that I am working with offered a sample pack. So there was like 70, or I think there's 70 here, mini skeins of yarn of all their bases. So this is what I got in the mail. Like all these rings full of samples. They're not labeled. They're labeled with the item number, so I had to kind of look them up, and I looked up most of them that seemed to be important. But this is like their Stellina, all their Stellina ones. So let's see. Yeah, there's a gold Stellina, a couple gold, silver. Yeah, what was there one? There was a couple cool ones. So what's this one? Wool blends. Okay, so this was the wool blends. So we got, this one's kind of cool. It's got like these neps in it. It's like a gray. So I wrote down what some of them were. So this was a 80-20 wool neps. So 80% wool, 20% neps. I got some like bulky here, which is kind of cool. Which one? There was one that was really fun. It was like a red Stellina. I think that was on here. This one. Probably gonna be hard to see on camera, but it's got a red Stellina in it. Like it's not listed on the Stellina. I don't know if that's focusing either. It's focusing on my hand. There we go. I don't know, but it's fun. Silk blends. We got single plies, exotic. So we got a bunch of we got some camel in there. But yeah, a bunch of just different interesting linens. BFL. So anyways, I went through all these, I looked them all up, I felt them, I decided which ones I wanted to start with. So I made a big purchase of a bunch of yarn, and I showed off the samples on Instagram, but I will show them to you here. So I stuck with just fingering weight for now because, again, I'm not planning on selling anything right now. Shop is not open. Who knows when shop will be open, but I figure I'm just going to slowly start dyeing some stuff here and there and playing around, kind of getting my rhythm, figuring out. Okay, sorry, I had a panic attack that I wasn't recording because my time wasn't showing, but it's recording, and I just want to check my time. So anyways, back to my samples. So I'm not planning on opening shop quite yet. I'm just gonna use this time to play around, kind of find my methods and go from there. But I ordered a large amount of yarn in a few different bases so that I can have it on hand before potentially I can't get it. So I know some companies have been shutting down and not being able to ship things, so I wanted to get that out of the way. So my pretty much standard base for the time being is going to be a 80-20 superwash wool nylon. So that's this one. It's a 3-ply. Oh, the heat's like making things rattle over here, but anyways. So this is just a real basic, real soft. I like the 80-20. Now this supplier doesn't offer a 75-25, so if I decide to, add different varieties, of course I'll have to find different suppliers, but I like this. It's just soft. It's soft, and I feel like a lot of people talk about how much they like 80-20, so I like it too. My focuser just needs to work. Okay, so, and again, I just picked some random dyes, and these are like nothing fancy. I just picked them, measured some in, and dyed it. So this is a bright pink. And then the other blend, this was like huge. This is like 30 grams. This was not like, the rest of these were like 10 grams. This was huge. This is an 80-20 superwash BFL. And I just thought, a little bit of variety. Again, a lot of people like BFL, and it's soft. It's a little more sturdier than like a little rougher, I guess, compared to this one, but it's good. Now, what I thought was funny is that, which is probably I don't know if it's gonna be able to translate on screen or not. So, oh, yeah, pretty much. So this one I dyed using a blend of magenta and a brown because I was trying to get a burgundy. And it's still not burgundy, it's very berry. And then, so this one I dyed just straight up dye color from Dharma. And they're like pretty much the same. So, if I ever want to replicate this one, pretty much just go with this one. However, this is a very deep depth of shade of this color. This is probably, all these are probably around 4% because when you're calculating dye, it's like 1 gram of dye for a pound of yarn is 1%. So 4 grams of yarn for a pound is 4%, so it would be about 1 gram of dye for 1 skein. So I used like 0.1, or I think for this one I used 0.3 grams for about 30 grams of yarn. So it equated to approximately like 4% depth of shade for all these. Because I measured out 0.3, that's a tiny amount. And for these I measured out like 0.15. So again, tiny amounts of, and I'm on my little scale. I just wanted, and that didn't matter, I just didn't want to like throw in way too much dye. But you can't, to do a 1%, you would need like 0.01 or 0.001 or something. It was something really ridiculously low that my scale couldn't even register. So, and it wasn't worth it for these samples. I just wanted to make sure the bases took up the color well, and then I liked the way they felt afterwards before I ordered a bunch of them. But yes, so this is a BFL 8020. That looks very similar to this one. So, I mean, they're on camera, they look slightly different. This one looks a little bit brighter, but looking at them in person, they're pretty similar. This is also a 3-ply. I don't know if I mentioned this is a 3-ply. These are both 3-plies. And so then I wanted something unique and fun, but still nice. So this, and this like fit the bill perfectly. This is a 2-ply, which is very different, of course, but it's very, so my friend said it looked kind of rustic, and the 2-ply does gives it a hand spun look. But it's supposed to be good for lace work because it kind of, the way the yarn kind of twists, it opens it up more than say a 3 or 4-ply. But it's a 17 micron, 100% superwash merino. So it's so soft. It's really soft. And so the lower the micron, the softer the yarn. So it's typical, I think, is like in the 20s usually. It's like 21, 22, so 17, so it's like really soft. It's like soft like cashmere or silk, but it's a superwash merino, so it's like, you know, it's easy to care for still, and it's easier to dye. I'm not gonna felt it, you know, like I'm not ready to dive into the untreated wools yet, because you have to be very careful with those. So this is that one, and now the green turned out really nice with this as well. Let's see if we can focus here. There we go. So it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. This one's my favorite. I need to make a sample. I wanted to show these off first before I knit up samples. And I might just knit it up and then take it off. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. If I'll save the sample or if I'll rescan it, because I want to save these for references, you know, for sure. So, but yeah. So this is this one's so cozy. I love this one. So then I have a runner-up. I might come back to this later. It was a little bit more expensive than the regular 8020, but this was an 8020 merino or wool nylon, but the nylon was supposed to be like soft like cashmere. Now when I hold them two together, I mean, maybe a little. Maybe it is a little softer, but I don't know if it's that much noticeably softer. It is softer. I mean, it's softer. Convincing myself. But it's a little more money per skein, and I don't know if it's worth it. So, and I would like to make a sample and see how it wears, like how sturdy is the nylon compared to the standard nylon. So what makes this nylon softer, and is that going to be a problem? But I dyed it just to kind of see how it would be. I mean, it's soft, so I don't know. So there's that one. And this was a nice indigo blue color. And this is also a 3-ply. So these are all 3-plies except for the 2-ply, which it's definitely, when you see them next to each other, you can see the difference of the 2-ply up there versus the 3-ply. And so yeah, those are the ones I'll stick with the supplier. I might, I like the bulky. I might dye the bulky ones up here because these ones are cool. And these are these nice fluffy 2-ply. Look how pretty that is. That would take up the dye really nice, I think. We got some other fun ones in here. We got this one. It was really expensive though, not really worth it, but it had like sequins in it. So that was kind of cool. This one was different. Did I write this one down? No, I didn't. Where is that? It's like a red and gray twisted something going on there. I don't know what that is, but they had a lot of BFLs in here. Some lace weight. Now, like, one thing I was a little disappointed in is they list some things as worsted. Okay, like this one. This is listed as a BFL worsted. This to me is definitely not a worsted yarn. This is a DK, if any, or a sport. So I'd like to take this and do a wraps rinse check and see what it comes up. But I asked them about their DK versus worsted, like, oh, they're about the same. I'm like, no, that's not the same. And this definitely does not look worsted to me. So, oh, but look at, like, I got some lace here. Like, look how thin that is. What was that? I didn't write that one down. Exotic, so it's probably a linen or something. Oh, some of these like feel really nice though. So yeah, I got a lot to play with here. Again, eventually I might just dye all these, and if I know I'll never use it, I'll just use it in a project for fun. So, but yeah, so these are all my samples. And yeah, I gotta figure out if I'm gonna, I want to knit some actual swatches with these. Okay, so that was a long tangent about that, but it's fun, I like it, so. Stash, I don't really have any stash. I do have some citric acid. That's not very exciting, but necessary for dyeing, and some Glauber's salt, or it's like sodium something, some sort of salt for leveling your dyes, so it's supposed to assist in evening the colors of certain dyes. So I bought some on Amazon. It was pretty inexpensive, so I have that just in my stash. Podcasts I've been listening to, 0. So the theme of the episode is I have time for nothing fun for myself anymore. So I've not listened to any podcasts. Now that is not 100% the fault of everyone being home and the children. So I'll give you that, because there's another big thing going on in my life right now, and it is Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. So that is taking up a lot of my evening time that I would maybe be watching podcasts. So I need to figure out how to watch some podcasts while doing Animal Crossing, which is doable, but you know, sometimes if you've played Animal Crossing, sometimes you have to listen for things, and sometimes it's distracting to have other things on, so. And when I say I'm playing Animal Crossing, I am obsessed with playing Animal Crossing. I have lists, I have charts, I have things to do, and you know, so. So yeah, so I apologize to all my podcasting buddies that I haven't watched. I did watch Needles at the Ready, most of it, but I didn't finish it. So I haven't finished their episode, and usually when I finish is when I comment, so I haven't commented, so I apologize. So. And I haven't talked enough in a while, so now my throat's getting dry. Speaking of talking, so coming up, so that's pretty much all that I have to share, but I do have some important crafty things to share right now, which I probably should have shared at the beginning. But anyways, if you're interested, me and Amy from Happy Little Yarn are going to do a little joint virtual knit night on Thursday. So Thursday, April 2nd at 7:30. I will post it on Instagram today, and she will share it on hers, but we're going to set up a Google Hangout, which you've never, so a lot of people are using that Zoom thing. Well, apparently if you want to use Zoom, you have to have a paid account to have a meeting more than 40 minutes. So I was on a Zoom with some friends the other night, and yeah, after 40 minutes, it just cuts you off. So it's not really reasonable unless you have an account, which I'm not paying for an account. But if you have a Gmail account, you can use Google Hangouts, and the only downside is it caps at 10 people. Speaking of being cut off, thank you, camera. So anyways, so Google Hangouts caps at 10 people. And to be honest, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because Zoom is like 100 people or something. It's hard to talk to 100 people, and not that I would have 100 people come in anyways. I used to do this all the time in the beginning of the podcast. Me and a bunch of my other podcaster friends used to host these knit nights all the time. And 10 people is a good amount. And it would get full. And that was a decent amount of people to be able to chat with and not like get too lost in the chaos. So you grab a knitting project, you grab a drink, any drink you like, and you just sit and you chat and you knit. You need a Gmail account. You need a camera. And to be honest, you don't need a camera. You need at least a microphone. So you could do it without video. Of course, it's more fun with video, but you need some sort of... Headphones are ideal, just to cut out some of the background noises if your house is a little noisy. Yeah, I usually just set up on my computer. You know, usually my family's not around, so it's not noisy. So I'm hit or miss if I'm using headphones or not. And yeah, just sit and chat and you knit. And don't pick a complicated project, so I will not work on my doodler on a VCAN or a virtual knit night. I call it a VCAN. But I will work on socks. And even last night when I was chatting with Amy, we were kind of testing it out. I screwed up on my socks. This is guaranteed I'm going to screw up on whatever project I'm working on. Maybe I'll pull out my blankets and work on some blanket squares. That might be a good idea. Or my sock. So, simple knitting project. Fun, just have a fun night chatting with some knitting friends, make some new friends. So that's our plan. So stay tuned for that. I will post it on Instagram. She will post it on Instagram. We will send out lots of reminders. And if you need help setting anything up, feel free to message below, message me on Instagram, whatever. So it is a Google Hangout on Thursday, 7 p.m. Oh, and what I'll do is I will post the link in my link tree in Instagram. And all you have to do is click on the link and it'll take you there. And it'll have you sign it into your Gmail account and that's it. And you'll be there. So, and it might ask you, like, can Google use your microphone? Can Google use your camera? And you go through that. But again, if you need any help, I can. It's pretty bare bones. Like Zoom looked like it had a million more options, which I don't need options. I just need camera, microphone. So so hopefully I can get back into watching some of my podcast friends and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, life in review. Stuck at home. This is the first time I've gotten dressed in about 2 weeks. Last episode I wasn't dressed. I thought today maybe I would actually get dressed. So, and it kind of feels nice to be dressed. So maybe every once in a while I'll get dressed. Everything sucks. I miss my friends. I miss my family. My kids are stir crazy. Most likely we're going to be done with school the rest of the year. Like that's kind of the word on the street right now. It's governor's supposed to announce something within the next day or two, but I think that's it. So I don't even know how to process that. The school is supposed to be setting us up with some home learnings options after this week. So this week is spring break. So starting next week, we're supposed to be getting some more guidance. So I don't know. We'll take it from there. I can do what I can do, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm enjoying being lazy this week at least, and we're enjoying, so Animal Crossing just came out last Friday, so it was perfect timing for that really, because, was it last Friday? Yeah, I think so, or has it been, yeah, I don't know what day it is anymore. Like, I literally, I do now, but on Sunday, I literally thought it was Saturday. Like, in my brain, in my heart, it was like, it was Saturday, and I'm like, no, it's not, it's Sunday. But it didn't matter, so... But so we're playing Animal Crossing, which is fun. It's a nice escape from reality. So if you are playing Animal Crossing and you want to be friends, let me know your friend code and we can visit each other's islands. So that's it. There's really not much going on in my life besides being stuck in my house. So hopefully we're going to get out. Like I said earlier, hopefully we're going to get outside when the weather picks up this week. So there's hope. Business is at a standstill, which is fine. I did get my LLC paperwork final, so that's good. So I'm officially an LLC, so that's great. I still need to file for my sales tax license, but I'm not in any hurry. There's a ton of dyers and designers that need help now. So if you are looking to buy yarn, please reach out to me. Let me know who, like if you want some people that I know that are in need. I'm placing an order with Fiber Stash this afternoon. So Fiber Stash Vermont, so look her up, Christy. She makes some excellent yarn. I think I could probably show you one right now. Let's see. course, on the spot, I can't. Everything's behind me. Where's my, there it is. So here is a Fiber Stash Dye Works. Very sparkly. This one I got as a gift. Dirty Crayon Box. So go check her out. She's got her website up and running with all her things that she was supposed to be selling at festivals. So I want to think of a project first before I place my order. So I'm trying to think, and I kind of want worsted because I have a lot of fingering weight yarn back here. And I don't have a lot of worsted weight yarn. And, you know, unfortunately I can't buy like a sweater quantity worth because I'm not rich. So I'll get a couple skeins of worsted for maybe a nice plumpy shawl or something. So I need to scour and see if I can find a fun. I think I might have had something in mind, but forgot. So need to look at that again. Yarn Cafe Creations posted, and I shared that it's on Instagram. I've never ordered her yarn, but her well broke, and that's like bad. Okay, if you're a dyer using water and your well breaks, that's really bad, and you've lost all your business from the shows that have been canceled. So I shared her information, so check her out as well. Mint Rain, she's a local dyer to me, and she's got a stocked website all the time. So Mint Rain Yarns. Who else off the top of my head? I had one, but there's lots of dyers. There's lots of dyers, and they all need help. So I am just gonna stay in my little corner here and start working on my stuff and just stash it away. And then actually, maybe, you know, if I do it this way, well, now I'm gonna run out of money if I don't sell stuff. Like, I could just keep buying more yarn and dyeing it, and then I could do like a big show, but I need money. So I might eventually slowly start selling a couple here and there, and maybe just so I could buy more. And I don't know. So and then on my pattern, I still need to take pictures for my mitts. I don't know. So, and again, I'm just not comfortable like selling things right now. So we're just kind of hanging low, and that's fine. So that's it. I made it over a half an hour, so that was successful. That was a lot of jibber jabber. So thanks for if you're still watching. Thank you for your continued support. 5 years down, maybe another 5 years to go. Plus, we'll see how this keeps going. So everyone stay safe. Everyone wash their hands. Everyone stay home if you can. And I appreciate everyone who can't stay home and has to go be a nurse, be a doctor, be a essential employee at the grocery stores, the pharmacies, whatever. I really appreciate everyone and everything that you guys are doing for the rest of us that are doing our best to stay home. And this is just so surreal. I just can't even, like, it's hard to process. It's like weird. That seems to be the recurring word that comes up to describe the situation. It is just weird. So, hope to chat again in a couple weeks, and I hope you all get to craft all the things. Bye.